In this presentation, I'm going to provide a brief overview of how to define feminism. This is a key concept for this course that will come up repeatedly throughout the semester. So it's important to have a really strong understanding of what it means. First, take a minute, pause this video, and either write down your answers to this question or have a conversation with somebody. Do you define yourself as a feminist? Why or why not? I ask this question because, as you can see in this image, a significant portion of the American people don't describe themselves as feminists. You can see that only 33% of men would describe themselves as feminists, while only 60% of women would. There are two reasons for this. One, basic confusion about what the term means. Two, history. As women demanded their rights in larger numbers in the 1970s, there was a political backlash that came from the right wing. This backlash portrayed feminism in a negative light. For example, anti-feminist conservatives have claimed that feminists are unnecessarily angry, they hate men, they are drawing attention to problems that don't exist, and they are hell-bent on destroying the traditional straight two-parent family. Because of this confusion, I want to go over the definition of feminism as I use it in this class. First, the simplest definition is the basic belief in gender equality, that men, women, and people who identify as neither should have access to the same basic rights and should be treated equally. This image shows efforts to close the pay gap. Second, sexism is still deeply embedded in our culture and our institutions. This image is a young woman saying into a bullhorn, #MeToo. This draws attention to feminist efforts to confront the prevalence of sexual harassment and sexual violence in our society. Politics is another example where sexism is still very much present. Take congressional representation. Of the 535 members of Congress, only 105 of 535, or 19.6%, are women. And of course, as you know, we've never had a female president. Third, people must become activists against sexism. What does it mean to be an activist? It could mean going to a demonstration. This is an image of the Women's March in DC. It could mean joining an organization to change laws to improve access to reproductive health care, or joining a group that challenges the incarceration of women, particularly women of color. The point here is that we can't challenge sexism in our society without doing something, without getting active. We shouldn't leave it up to people in power, because history has shown that women on the ground, at the grassroots, have led efforts to challenge the oppression of women. Fourth, intersectionality. For feminism to be truly inclusive, it must be intersectional. Intersectionality is a term originally coined by American professor Kimberly Crenshaw way back in 1989. Intersectionality means, quote, the study of overlapping or intersecting social identities and systems of oppression. Audre Lorde once said, quote, there's no such thing as a single issue struggle because we do not live single issue lives, unquote. In saying this, Audre Lorde, a Black lesbian and feminist, was saying that the various components of her identity cannot be separated out. They merge and overlap to influence her life. Okay, that's it. Next, we'll go into a more in-depth discussion about what intersectionality means.